in a second. So 3, 2, 1, got it. Welcome everybody to LinkedIn for Breakfast. This is the place where we help you to both raise your brand awareness on LinkedIn and also use the world's biggest professional social media network to be able to help you to generate leads. So we like to be able to do that little brand awareness thing and also that little lead generation thing. And we have a mission here at LinkedIn for Breakfast to make this the best place on earth for free that you guys can come along to and enjoy different examples and training on how to use LinkedIn every Wednesday at 9 o'clock UK time. And also, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we have a free community where we put swipe files, replays. We ask the community interactive questions to get people thinking slightly differently. There's some amazing contributors to this community as well. So if you have not, and I'll just show you it, if you are not, let me just get rid of that, in this group here, please join it because there's loads in here. As a great example, we did a session last week about how to make your LinkedIn profile become an all-star profile. And in here, I produced a really cool swipe file on how to write your LinkedIn about section as a sales letter as opposed to a CV. And look, all of this stuff is getting created. This is all free. It doesn't take 2 minutes to create this stuff with workbooks in here. So jump in. It's loads of great value and there's nothing to buy. So jump in, right? I think Flora probably, because Flora's always ahead of the game. She's probably put the link. Yes, she has put the link in the chat. So there you go. You can click on the link in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, simply press LinkedIn or type in LinkedIn for Breakfast and you'll find it in the Google. Thanks, John, for giving a round of applause there. It's not Flora's first rodeo, so she is always a very good co-pilot for us. Cool. So if you're just joining here, because I can see a few pings, we're talking about going live on LinkedIn. We're going to show you how to do it, why to do it, and give you a live demo. And do you know what we also have, gang? And just to kind of tee this up, next week we're going to have a 4-day challenge, and I'm going to challenge you all to go live every day, and I'm going to go and do it with you. And we're going to have a session at 9 o'clock every morning next week to go live on LinkedIn. That is the challenge. Right. So today I'm going to show you how to do it, and please feel free to try it after today. But next week, I'm going to hold you accountable to it if you want to play through the challenge. So really, really exciting. So we're going to show you who and how to do it in part 1 of today. Part 2, we're going to share some live experiences. And then also part 3, we are offering a free LinkedIn profile audit to make sure your profile is absolutely singing before you crack on to the LinkedIn Live challenge next week. Oh, so much value. Crikey. Right. So let's get started. So a few kind of things you need to think about when you are trying to go live. And by the way, guys, if you're not quite sure about what live is, it's that live stream where someone will pop up and LinkedIn will do that notification to say, John Gower's gone live on LinkedIn, and then you'll click on it and bam, there's his wonderful face talking on a live stream, and you can comment, you can like it, and you can do it via video. And LinkedIn has recently also brought out a thing called a LinkedIn audio event. And a LinkedIn audio event, both of these things I'll show you how to do, is a little bit like Clubhouse. Does anybody remember Clubhouse? That was a fad that came and went, wasn't it? But Clubhouse was basically, and it still is, the premise that you join a conversation and you're in that conversation, you can hear audio. It's like a live podcast. It's non-video and it's also not recorded and it's not published to your profile. It's just basically a moment in time where people can join an audio conversation like I don't know, a chat debate on a podcast. And so you've got a live stream video, which is basically like a YouTube video where you're live streaming on LinkedIn, and you've got an audio event where you're joining a conversation, or you're hosting a conversation that people can contribute to. So those are the two sort of live things that you can do. And I'm going to show you how to set up both of those. But to do it, to enable you to do it, you need to have 150 followers if you want to do it through your page. If you want to do it through your profile, you need to have over 150 connections. You also need to have a profile that is over 30 days old, which I'd hope most of you are there. And also, you're not allowed to live stream into mainland China. Both of those points I didn't bother putting on here because I don't think that's a big problem for most of us. That's the big key thing, 150 people that have to be liking your page or following your or connected to you. And also, to do the live video, the live audio you can do directly through LinkedIn, but to do the live video, which is the majority of what I'm going to show you, it's not a native tool. It's not actually something that's inbuilt within LinkedIn. You have to use a third-party software. Luckily, my Pedigree chums, I've got a free one that you guys can use. I'm going to show you it now. It's called StreamYard. There is also Restream, which someone mentioned in the chat before this there, which I also think is great. But for me, I recommend StreamYard. The reason StreamYard is great is that you can stream, and at the same time, you can syndicate that same stream to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to YouTube. I think you can send it out to Twitch if you guys are gamers. I know you're secret gamers at night, want to share your Roblox, whatever you're gaming at night. But ultimately, you can stream to these different things, right? And so let me just chuck this into the chat now. This is a link that ultimately, oh, hello, not that. This is a link that you can use. Now, it's a free software, but Harpreet says, I'm a parent if I know Roblox. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got 2 young kids that love it. So this link in the chat will give you, and it's a silly thing, but you might as well use that link to be able to log on to a free account. If you decide to upgrade and you want to stream to like 3 or 4 different places, you don't need to do that. But if you want to go and stream to Facebook and YouTube and the rest of it when you get advanced later, you get, by using the link I just give you, a £10 credit. I get a £10 credit, but I'm not actually using the paid version, so it doesn't actually matter to me. I just use the free version because I only stream to LinkedIn. But if you wanted to, there's a £10 credit, so you can use it. It's not like a clever thing in there. So you can click on it, and when you'll be taken to a page that looks like this, and ultimately you just add your email address and you just create your live stream. So I put that link into the chat if you want to use that, and you can then set up your email address as I talk here, and it will create the dashboard for you. When you go in, you'll need to add a destination. So this is what you'll find, and you'll need to add a destination. So what you do is you go and click on LinkedIn profile. Now, I would recommend all of you streaming through your personal profile. Why? Because when you go and stream, it gets distributed to a number of your connections. And, you see that pop up that says, as we said, John Gower's live. So you will have more personal connections than your company will have page followers. And so if you were wondering about the two, I'd say always go on your personal profile. If you are, a marketer for a company and you want to do it for your company, then obviously do it that way around. But for most of you business owners, do your personal profile, right? Now click on that personal profile button, and when you do, you'll be sent to this kind of classic thing that says, are you sure you want StreamYard to be able to, get your personal information, your bank card detail, your mother's maiden name, all the rest of it, give away your life to this thing. Ultimately, it's just basically hooking the link up between LinkedIn and StreamYard, so you can do that. So you can say, yep, that's no problem. Now you will find yourself potentially in a page that looks like this. Now, please do not worry, because many people get to this and go, oh, LinkedIn says that I can't do this because it's you see in red that says, note that LinkedIn approves pages and profiles separately. So it's possible when profile meets that requirement, but your page doesn't. So what this is saying here is LinkedIn says you're not approved. What this probably means is that you might have 2 or 3 pages. So if you've got 2 or 3 businesses that you've set up company pages for, one of them that you've got is your main one, you've got over 200 followers or whatever, so that should be fine. But one of them you forgot about, which is this sort of little small one that you've set up that only has like 3 followers, that's where normally people go, oh, I get this message. And ultimately you just say, doesn't matter, return to dashboard, because if you've got over 150 connections, the link up to your profile will already be done. So just ignore this, because I'm sure most of you, if you've got over 150 connections, is okay. Cool. So you will then get to this page where you can press this magic blue button and you can create a live stream. So shall we do one? Let's do a live stream. Why not? So let me get you to StreamYard, and it's just logging me in. And so this then takes you to a destination where you guys will find yourselves, right? And so you can say, here we go. We got upcoming and we got past streams. So you can schedule streams and you can then just simply go live. So why don't we do a live stream first, and then I can show you how to schedule one. So we can just go straight into a live stream here. And you can see here, do you want to do it as a source, i.e. go straight into do a live, or you can do pre-recorded. So if you wanted to, you could pre-record this and then upload it. You will have to upgrade to their premium solution, which I think is only like a 20 quid a month or whatever it is. But you know, that's one of the things you can do. For me, and for the challenge next week, I say go live. Just do it. You know, jump out the plane and build a parachute on the way down. That's what I say. And then you can see which destinations you want to go. So you can see here, I've got my LinkedIn hooked up. I've got my YouTube hooked up. If you want to go hook up your Facebook or anything along those lines, you click on that. You can go hook those things up. No problem at all. So we can say here. So I'm going to say, I want to go to my LinkedIn, right? So now I can then go and create the title and the description for this. So I'll just grab this. So I'm going to make the title of my live stream. So when I go, oh, hello, I just pressed the wrong button there. That was fun. Let me just go start that again. So source, that, and then title. So using LinkedIn Live, a free training at LinkedIn for breakfast. Here we go. And then I'll just take the description. So just a super simple description. I've done it again. I've done it again. 1 second, I'll stop pasting. LinkedIn Live demo at LinkedIn. There we go. Great. So now what I can do is two things. One, I could just go live now, or I can schedule it for later. And if I schedule it for later, say I schedule it for, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I can then also upload a thumbnail to this, which would be cool. So I could go in, I could go find a thumbnail of a picture of something that I've done. I can go grab one of these maybe, and I can then open it up, and then bam, I've got a nice thumbnail that's going to go along with my event. Why is this important? Well, if you go to events in LinkedIn and you've got these preset events, they'll have an image, they'll ask people to attend, and bam, it will set up the event, right? So if I wanted to now, I can go and create this live stream. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, hello. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to create this live stream, and then it will show you how the event gets set up in LinkedIn. But then I won't show you that because it will just take a second to make that happen. So I'm going to then go back and go live, and then I'll go back to the event that's set up, right? So we're going to create two things. So that's one. So now it's currently talking to LinkedIn. It's created that event for 5 o'clock this afternoon. Great. Now I'm going to show you how just to go live. If you just have an idea in your head, and just go live. So again, I go live. I go select LinkedIn. I go put test of a live for L4B, and then I can go paste that in. Great. And I can just then go create a live stream. So I'm now entering the studio. And so once you enter the studio, you need to allow a few things. So one, you've got to allow it to access your microphone and your camera. And I'm hoping now, there we go. So I've got a second camera set up here. Hi guys over there, as well as talking to you over here, right? So this is like Divergence. This is like a live within a live. So then I also want to make sure my mic is working, which it isn't at the moment. So I need to go find the mic. So I go to settings, and then you can go and make sure you got the right camera, right settings, right? So if I go to audio here, and then I find the right mic, let's go 111, 111. There you go. The green thing's working. Perfect. So that's working. So I can go back to general, happy days. And then I can exit out of this. And so my mic's working, my camera's working. Hello, me. And then my display name. And if I wanted to, part-time hero. There we go. And so, oh, hello. Full-time dyslexic, part-time hero. Right, so now I can enter the studio. And here we go. So we are now in this studio. And what you've got to remember with StreamYard is that nothing happens until you press this button at the top, which says go live, okay? So don't worry, like all of this is just sitting and waiting for you to play with. Now this is actually the visual. So at the moment, if I go live, I'm just going to go live with a black screen. Whereas I have to go and add me bottom left to the stage. And then here I am on the stage doing my stagey thing, right? And so now that gives me the ability that if I go live, that can happen. But I've got some other cool things that I can play with because I can also present some slides. So I can use these layouts on the right-hand side. And if I wanted to, I could press present and I could go add slides. I could go find out one of these slides that I've got here. And then bam, suddenly my slides are added. And as I'm streaming, I can go through like this. So I can get this all nicely set up. Okay. And I've got a few things I can do. So if I then want to remove this from the stage, it means that I've got my slides ready, preloaded in the green room, if you like I can remove myself from the stage. And now I've got this preloaded in the green room. And so when I start, I can add myself in. You can also do that with guests. So I can invite different guests to the studio and I can have them waiting in the green room and I can add them in, right? So that's cool. And then on the other side here, I've got different things like banners. So I can add ticker banners across, right? I can then add comments. I can add different themes for how I want things to be looking at. And so I can also do things like a countdown to this. So I can show a countdown. And the countdown is quite cool. Can you see? Like, so then it's going to do a countdown. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few more things, but I'm actually going to go live and do this whilst demonstrating it to you, right? So I'm going to go to the right here and I'm going to press go live. It's going to ask me, are you really sure? And I can say yes. So I'm going to go live. So you guys can hear me, but nobody's going to be able to hear me at the moment, but I'm currently live. And so I've got this cool little countdown timer that's working and I'm ready to go and add myself to the stage. And here I am. So welcome everybody on the live stream. Great to see you. I'm currently doing a Zoom actually with a number of amazing people from LinkedIn for Breakfast. And they're watching me demonstrate how I'm doing a live stream on StreamYard whilst watching me on a Zoom. So it's a couple of layers deep. So please do excuse the slightly crazy format for today's live stream. But there's a few things with this StreamYard that I wanted to show them that they could do. One of those is to do things like an overlay. So you can actually design a special overlay that would look like this, right? But you could put your own company branding in and make it look really, really cool. I can also then add these slides to the stage and there they are. But if they're a bit too small as I go through these slides, I can also make them a bit bigger like this and make myself smaller or put myself in a corner that looks like this. So really, really nice format to be able to use for a slideshow. I can do a really cool thing such as a banners that can go across. So I can actually add a little banner across. Look at this. I feel like I'm on the BBC News. Lisa's jaws just hit the floor. That's awesome. So there's loads that I can be getting on here. And actually, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask questions, because if I've got some comments, I can go and see the comments. And of course, we've got the good doctor here who's asking a great comment here. And he's put a lovely comment on LinkedIn. And bam, I can actually pull it up onto the live stream and say, thank you, Thomas, for your question. I really do appreciate it. Actually, boom, 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 boom. So I've got this ability to hide and bring people in to work on these different banners. And there's other things that I can have, such as private chats when I'm chatting to other people who are in the green room. And we talked about actually adding other people into this live stream so I can have one like an interview with them as we go. So super, super cool. And lots of exciting ways that you can use this and edit this and design this and bring some great people in and say thank you so much for your comments. Cool, huh? Well, look, I tell you what we'll do. Why don't we say goodbye to our wonderful LinkedIn audience? So thank you for bearing with us on this live stream. If you want to see the full replay of exactly how I did this live stream in front of everybody on Zoom, then please do leave a comment below this video, and we will send you the full recording of this demo and also any swipe files. That's it, Richard Woods, and I'll see you on the flip side. And then I'm going to end stream by pressing this red button here. Am I sure? Yes, end stream. Bam. Stream done. That was a 3 minute, or yeah, 3 minute and 5 second stream. I think that went all right. I'm a great self promoter of that. So cool, huh? Works really, really well. And it's not that hard. If you get over the worry of going live, which is, I know we all have that when you first do it because it's lots of tools and stuff to play with. What I like about this, because we're not live now, is that I could have a play with this constantly. I could be, you know, making this change. I could be doing all these different things. I could be like changing stuff and working the brands. All of these things I can be creating and practicing in this live studio without going live. And so that's why I'm so keen for it. Great. I love it. When we said, please, can you have a copy of the recording? I was talking to people on LinkedIn, but now I've got people on the chat in Zoom asking for a recording. Everybody here is going to get a copy of the recording. Don't you worry. Right. So what I'm going to do, now you've seen this, I'm going to then throw you guys into a breakout room to get a quick feedback loop from you guys in terms of what is it about live streaming that you like the idea of, what questions you might have, and actually what other experiences do we have within the room. And so it's only going to be for like 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to come back, I'm going to show you on LinkedIn that event that's now being published and actually the extra bits that you want to do with that event. And then I'm going to give the launch of our 4-day challenge, and also I'm going to then talk about getting your LinkedIn profile audited again for free. So let's do this. Give me 2 seconds, and then we're going to just set up these. And remember, these breakout rooms are only going to be for 3 minutes. So you'll be grand, and we're going to do 5 of them. Let's go. See you in 3 minutes. So just when the button comes up, press accept and move into the rooms. Let's just, in a 2 seconds, it should be there. Was it good? Were the breakout rooms good? Were the conversations good? All right. That's great. It was great. Lovely to meet others. Exactly. Welcome back in, guys. I think we're just getting everybody back in. Great stuff. It's always so good to do these different breakout rooms because, of course, we get to meet other people here and interact and get our thoughts as well. So I'm looking for, so we had, I think 5 breakout rooms, 4 or 5 breakout rooms. So I'm looking for the people who want to share something that was shared in those rooms. And then I'm going to show you how those events actually then posted onto LinkedIn for breakfast itself. So we've got Heather, who's demonstrating as being one of the orators from the rooms. Use the reaction button to raise your hand like that, and so I can see you all across the top. So Heather, what happened in your group? What was the name of your group, or the number of your group? And
I think we were 4, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway, as the shy retiring person in the room, I got nominated to be the speaker. So we talked about a couple of things. Some of us experienced, some of us not. One of the things that was a question for me, but hopefully will help others, is when you're interviewing others or being interviewed. So I was being interviewed, it was being restreamed, had my details for it to go live on my channels. So as the interviewee, because they'll want it to go live for them. But it didn't. So I wondered if anybody had any experience, and as did the rest of the group, because none of us had that opportunity for ours to go live on someone else's channel.
So actually go live on someone else's channel.
Yeah. So if I'm live on mine, so say I'm interviewing you, so obviously it's going live on my LinkedIn. It would then, and then you can set it up that it goes live on yours as well. But I've never seen it actually happen in reality.
But
it says it can.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, when you add someone into there, they would have had to have created an account through StreamYard. So you'd have two. So when you invite a guest onto your room and you invite them in, they create an account on StreamYard. They would have hooked up their LinkedIn with StreamYard, and you then invite them into the room. And when they go into the room, they're given the option of, do they want to stream onto their LinkedIn profile page? That if they got a premium account, it could be across all the social media. So that's when it's selected, and they don't have to do that, or they can do that. And so you've got to walk them through that when they do it, but they, that's the thing that you would ask them.
So they have to have a premium account if they want to do it to something other than LinkedIn.
Well, no, because they just have to have a premium account to stream to more than one destination. So they could stream just to YouTube or just to Facebook, but they need to, if they want to stream to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, then that's where the premium account comes in.
Okay, that's helpful. But yes, just generally people wanting to try different things, and yeah, excited at the possibilities.
Fantastic, love it. Thank you, Heather. Awesome work. Okay, Lisa, what was interesting from your room? What do you want to share?
Well, again, it was great to meet everybody. I have no idea what number we are. We've got loads of questions, but I think one of the most important one is there an optimum time length? So, and also on the back of that, does it ever kick you out? What's too long?
I'm not sure about the too long thing, because I'm not sure there is a limit on it, but I don't know really. I have to come back on that one. But I always think if you're going to post a video, then you want to make it about 5 minutes long. If you're going to post a live, I think about 20 minutes works, because you can be more interactive. You've got to fill the room, and you interact the room, they get questions, etc. When you do an event like this, because it's an event, it's registered, people come along to it, and it's interactive, then 45 minutes. So that's how I break it down. So 5 minutes sort of YouTube type video. Obviously you can get the 1 minute reels if you're doing shorts, but let's go 5 minute video. That's kind of sweet spot for that. Then 20 minutes in terms of live stream, and then 45 minutes in terms of event. That's kind of the attention span and how it works.
And I the one that people asked.
Yes, go for it.
It's about the content that we use for the live. Does there need to be a call to action? Is there any recommendation of the type of things that do work best to drive engagement?
Fantastic. Great question. So we are going to give you 4 different themes for the 4 different days next week. So it's kind of who, how, what, how, when type theming of it. And some of that will be very much just telling your story, or some of it will be telling the story of a customer, etc. So that's the theme for the live challenge. So we're going to help you in terms of what to say and give you a different angle on how to take that. And yes, call to actions can work, but they're also not essential because it could be brand awareness. So 9 o'clock Monday, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. We're just going to loop back to LinkedIn to have a look at those events. Just we do that. So I'm going to take CF's feedback and John's feedback, and then we'll go and have a look at that. CF.
Yes, there was room 2. So one point was a lot of us knew about LinkedIn Live, but didn't really use it. And we referenced Zoom, WebEx, and Google Meet, and so on. So one point that we made is actually the usage is slightly different. The reason why you would use LinkedIn Live and why you would use Google or Google Meet or Zoom is quite different, where LinkedIn Live is more to attract people. So it's in the context of marketing activity where you want to grab the attention of people. So that's that's the distinction that we made in the conversation. Where Zoom would be more, I'm inviting people I already know more or less, or we've agreed to meet. Although Zoom can be a public, but it's not. So one thing that we have found as well is that as opposed a bit in the style of Instagram Live is very easy where you just turn it on. Yeah. LinkedIn Live, you need to have a third-party software. And I think that's a little bit the barrier that we found. That although you demonstrated extremely brilliantly that it can be extremely easy, but still there is that extra step that could be a little barrier to use LinkedIn.
Exactly. And do you know why that's good? Is because other people are also finding that barrier. So if you jump over the barrier, it's less crowded, and so therefore you've got a great opportunity to grab attention.
Yes. And the last question was, how long are the live sessions being kept on the social network.
I think they're just kept on there for, you know, forever. If you keep on scrolling down, you'll find them. I mean, these social networks must have a vast amount of data storage, because you keep on scrolling down, you'll see all the old ones. So I'm not sure there's an actual cutoff. I certainly don't know. I'm not aware of one. So yeah, cool. Thanks, CF. Great questions. John, final one, and then we'll talk about the 4-day challenge and the LinkedIn profile audit. Go for it.
I'll try and keep this as quickly as possible, but I think the comments were is just having that confidence and what to talk about. And I suggested using ChatGPT to get some common questions, you know, find the pain points of in my industry who's suffering with the most, but also about building content. I think I kind of dominated the rooms of Richard, Mr. Networking. But we had several suggestions, which was, you know, create 3 months worth of content and repost it, you know, 6 months later, because if you're not capturing your audience straight away, then it's not convenient for them at that time. So maybe doing it another time, which is all back to you, Richard, from when you started this a long time ago about content, but also knowing your audience and adding value to the content that you put out, because why would someone sit and listen to you for 7 minutes if it's not really relevant to them at all in the first place? I think that was the main focus for it, wasn't it? Room 5?
Love it.
Big up, Room 5.
Go on, Room 5. Big up to everybody. Congratulations, guys, on doing your amazing breakout rooms. Richard, we're going to come back to your question at the end.
It was room 1. I was just going to say on room 1, I think the general feeling was it was just great to see some real-time conversations with people and kicking AI into touch, really.
Okay, well, that's great, because the nice thing about this stuff is that you can't AI it. So want to quickly show you, just to prove that it works. Here's my LinkedIn profile, and here is 2 things. The first thing that was posted 15 minutes ago is the actual event that I've got set up now for 5:15 today, which is easy for me just to delete, which I will do if I remember. And look, I've already got attendees, bless them. So we've got the title here, and we got what it is, the things that we put in. And when I'm talking about adding extra stuff, you want to go back into your event once you've scheduled it and then add more information like descriptions in here. You can then hook up speakers. So I could then say, John Gower is coming to speak at this event, and I can then click on him, I can save it, and then John will be in there. Don't worry, John, I'm going to delete this event. But you can see, and it will go in and it will start to fill in all those different elements of this event and will present it better, right? So you just want to flesh out that event, and then you can use that event. Oh, sorry, I've just clicked out of it. So once you've set up this event here, where's it gone? Here we go. I can then invite people to this event. So this is the cool thing about this. We set this up, and then we use the invite feature, and when it loads, so I can press share, press invite. I can then go see all my lovely people here. And if I go and actually then look at, say, industry sector, and I want people who are in business and coaching services, I can then segregate my audience. And then once I do that, I can click this button, and it will then highlight all of them and allow me to send an invite to invite all these lovely people to my created event. So that really helps us in terms of doing it. You can see here it's live today. It gives a bit of a countdown. Cool. So that's to show that works really well. And also you can see my live stream there. So a couple of things. First of all, 9 o'clock, we'll send you information, but next week, every single day for 4 days at 9 a.m., we'll be sending you out a link after this to register for. We're doing a 4-day challenge, and we're going to just do just half an hour of those sessions just to tee up an idea of what you're going to do and to give you a theme to be working upon. And then I'm going to challenge you all to go live, and then we're going to post the links to your live stream in the group, and we can all attend each other's live streams and support each other. And so just a slither of your morning for 4 days next week, 9 a.m. So put it into your diary now, and we'll be sending you the link to be able to come and play on a 4-day challenge next week. So really, really excited about that one. More details will follow. But before you do that, the big call to action from today, the one thing I actually want you to go and register for if you haven't done already, is for us to come and help you audit your LinkedIn profile. And here is the link to it. I'm just going to put this in the chat now. And this is a free LinkedIn profile audit with me personally, and I will then go, oh, hang on, I've sent that as a direct message. 2 seconds. I'm going to put this in the chat now. And so I will personally audit your LinkedIn profile. We'll spend some time one-to-one together. We're going to look at your headline. We're going to look at your banner. We're going to look at how you're maximizing recommendations. We're going to look at actually, is it set up for lead generation, or is it set up to just be a glorified CV that's trying to find a job, not clients? And we want to find clients. So that is a really good use of time. Just a quick note on that. The recommendations that I give in that audit are just for business owners. And the reason why is that, when you're looking at a marketeer within a business, it's just not the same way that you position your profile. And I'm an expert in helping business owners to be able to generate leads and make sales from LinkedIn. So that's why that free profile audit works well. So do jump onto that and book in for that. Cool. So I'm sticking around for 5 minutes or so. So if you have some further questions or want to actually share some other ideas from LinkedIn Live, now's a great time to do it. Into the room then, gang. What other stuff came up in the room?
What can we do for you, Richard? You give out all this advice for free to everybody. What can we actually do for you?
I was about to ask the same question.
Oh, bless you guys. Just invite people to the community. Just grow LinkedIn for breakfast. The whole point of making it the best place on earth to get free LinkedIn advice is, I don't want it to be a best kept secret. So the more people we can invite into that community, you just simply tell people there's a thing called LinkedIn for breakfast. If you Google it, it's always at the top of Google, and just send them to the school group. And,
so we should all post out on our LinkedIn now.
Oh,
listening to this great session. Can we take screenshots? Anybody object to screenshots being taken?
No. Yeah, all good.
Go for it. There we go. All right. Should we do a screenshot? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I love it. Okay, cool. That's very kind of you, John. Yeah.
One hand washes the other, mate. One hand washes the other.
Okay, all right. Wicked, thank you. Yeah, do tell a friend. But look, guys, if you've got any further questions or LinkedIn questions, as I say, I'm happy to stick around for five minutes or so, answer any further questions you might have.
I've got a call to make at 10, mate, so I'm going to prepare for that.
You
Richard,
dash.
thanks,
No
mate,
worries.
as always.
Good
I'll
to
catch
see
up with
you.
you soon, buddy. Take care, mate.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Richard, I'm definitely going to book the audit profile for my LinkedIn, because it used to be, I used to use it for job purposes before, but I transitioned it into business. So it would be nice to have a sit down with you so you can pick it apart literally and just go, no, yes, yes, no, no, all that.
Well, we will definitely pick it apart. So yeah, grab that link before we close the room. They're only limited, so I haven't got 1 million hours for free in the day. So we do only limit those. So do jump and grab one of those now. If anybody hasn't quite got the link, because I've already had a few pings of people booking in to it. I'm just going to reattach the link in there now. Yeah, there's a few actually gone already. So here we go. In there now. So do jump on that, because last week they all just went, so there wasn't any opportunity to jump in there. Thomas, over to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Richard did my profile review, and that was really, really powerful. This was like an anatomical dissection. and I have already done some changes. Hopefully my profile is now much better. So thank you for that.
Pleasure. Well, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. Harpreet, I think you had your waving your hand around. Yeah.
Well, I've booked my call as well, so I'm ready to go.
Oh,
so thank you. But I suppose the question is, I mean, I know we're talking about lives today, and maybe we can discuss it tomorrow, but because I'm probably new to your world right now anyway. In terms of one of the questions that I suppose I've generally got is around like messaging and how that works on LinkedIn and cold messaging, and should we do it, and what's the advice and that kind of stuff. It might be a conversation for a different day, but it's definitely a question I have. So
Yeah. So as in terms of messaging and direct messaging out to people.
Yeah. So, like connections and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, I work with generally like high achievers, CEOs,
Yeah.
high-end professionals really. So sending messages is something I find quite uncomfortable. And then it's sort of, what do I say? And then, I don't want to, because I suppose generally in terms of sales, I have my own thoughts, but at the same time, I know that, we need to reach out to people. So just things around how to do that is a question that I have.
No problem. So I have a resource for you in the school group, which is the 5-day challenge that we have, which is pre-recorded around actually specifically connecting and DMing your current connection. So I'm going to send that to you. But to kind of give you my initial thoughts very quickly, it's about being classy when you do it. So my connection request is, hi, Harpreet, just a friendly coach to coach. Hello, how's things in this crazy upside down world? Right? So the whole point is just to say hello, how's things? Use the crazy upside down world piece just to kind of a little bit of tongue in cheek, allows people to kind of then feed back to me what they perceive as being crazy, or tell me actually it's going really well and it's not crazy, right? And then that means we start a conversation, and then we go through that, and then I'll ask questions like, so what's the big thing you're working on this quarter? And then I'll share a little. When someone says, most people say, I'm great, how are you? And then we've got a kind of preset response to that going, I'm awesome. And what I do is I go, I'm currently working on a podcast I'm looking to launch. I've been dying to do it for ages, but never got time. But I'm also having to juggle with the kids because obviously, some are off to school, right? When someone says, how good are you? You open up personality and bit of work, right? And then that then feeds them to open up bit of personality, bit of work, right? Because we like to mirror in conversations. So the more that I can kind of give a little, and then you get a little bit back, and then go a little bit more, and get a little bit back. And then I go ask a question like, so actually, what's your LinkedIn strategy? What do you do on LinkedIn? And then, of course, then they've responded enough. You're in a conversation. They tell you, go, oh, actually, I've got this cool thing called LinkedIn for breakfast. Just come along to it. And again, I'm not selling them anything. I'm going, look, it's a bloody amazing thing for free. You should come along to. And the whole point, we talk about this a lot on here. And actually, if you've got 2 minutes, I'll go a little bit deeper for you. Is that if you do have 2 minutes, you're not gonna go.
I do.
You're not gonna run off on me, are you? Okay,
no, I'm not.
Okay. Cool. And I'll leave a couple of minutes for you, Heather, as well, of course. So we got awareness, into consider, into convert, into deliver, right? So this is the funnel. This is how we've got to move people to, because once we're delivering, that's when we're actually getting our invoices paid. So awareness is very much to find the right people you want to connect with, send them a connection message. Then you want to send them a series of messages. But if you send those messages going, hey, buy my stuff, then you will only get a small percentage, right? So you'll only get a small percentage because it's a volume game, and you've got to get the people who are right at the right time with the right pain. And usually where this works well is when you've actually already warmed up these people you just didn't really realize because they've been connections with you for a while. So what we say is you need to put together a consideration item. So I go from, do you say you're a leadership coach?
Yes, a peak performance mindset.
Perfect.
Yeah,
so I go from knowing that you do performance coaching to actually, do I like what you say about performance coaching? Are you any good at this performance coaching thing, right? So this is where I consider you to go, do I like actually what you're talking about? And so we talk about having a weekly moment, a crescendo to your week, a focal point. It doesn't have to be every week, it could be fortnightly, but something like a podcast, maybe a live, maybe an event like this, maybe something that's like just something of substance that people can come back to. Events are definitely the best. The reason why is that you can interact with people, you can build relationships en masse. You also get their name, email, telephone number when they register. So you're also generating leads that you can follow up with. And then you do the event, people get familiar with the way that you talk about things. And I consider go, actually, do you know what? I really like what you say about performance. And you said, well, look, why don't I do a quick performance strategy session with you? So you open the door, and then the right people walk through it. They jump onto a call with you, and then you give them a great strategy in there. And then if it's right, they'll ask you, well, actually, what do you do? And then, of course, that's when you can actually then show them what you do, pitch your product. But most people forget this consideration asset. Most people forget to do that. And we're constantly doing the kind of connect and pitch dump, which is not where you want to be. So that consideration bit, that's the key piece within this funnel.
Awesome. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We can unpeel that a little bit more tomorrow if you want. If you booked in for tomorrow, I'm not sure, but it sounds like you booked in for.
I am.
Okay, lovely. Heather, over to you. Take us away for the final question.
Final question. Okay, as you know, I've been running my weekly moments for last year and something more focused at entrepreneurs. I'm now working more with SMEs, sort of 50 to 250 size businesses. And that's where I want to go live with an interview. So I'll be looking at similar topics, but more aimed at the sort of larger organization. So I'll be bringing, so the idea is a half-hour LinkedIn Live interview, but sort of aimed in terms of content and style, just at that slightly larger organization. In terms of time of day to get those people, because obviously they're not sitting staring at LinkedIn in quite the same way as those of us who are self-employed might do. Not that I do, but you know what I mean. So obviously they're in an office environment, say, and they're very focused. What's a good time of day where, because it's going to be really good value, and I'd like them to kind of get it and see it, and then also a great idea of a call to action after it.
Cool. Well, corporates love a lunch and learn. So you're trying to get people in, they love a lunch and learn, it's their language, and so you invite them along to a lunch and learn. I've got two theses with this. One, I love 9 o'clock because it's the first meeting of the day, and it means that people will prioritize it if they feel it's important enough, right? So I think at 9 a.m. is actually quite a good time to run an event because it works. Yeah, it means that if it's a good enough event, they will prioritize it. Lunch and learn is the sort of event they'll put in their diary and think they'll eat a sandwich and actually kind of just tuck into, but it's more easily disrupted by the workings of the day and meetings that get put in. So I'd say those two work. I mean, the only other caveat is that you could do one at the last call of the day, but that gets absolutely demolished by anything else that people want to do, right? It really does. I know some people that do very well for like an 8 o'clock or even like a 7:30 type thing, like a before, but that tends to be more your fitnessy, healthy B2C type people. They're trying to get corporate people before they get to work. So for you, first call of the day or lunch and learn?
Lunch and learn, yeah. I think the lunch and learn feels more, yeah. I think it feels like the 9 o'clock slot is also quite over. Yeah, I'm also quite busy on 9 o'clock because I'm in other people's stuff at 9 o'clock. Yeah. And then in terms of a call to action, again, for those people who are, within corporate, what are a couple of ideas of how to have a chat with them?
Yeah, just book a meeting, book a strategy session, book a goal setting session. Just maybe a virtual coffee, make it really light and easy and friendly. Just a 15-minute virtual coffee. Just get them into cool. Do it that way.
Okay.
Brilliant. And on that note, I've got to jump because I've got my $1 Million Sprint track session. So I'm going to go see the $1 Million Sprinters. So if anybody's here from $1 Million Sprint, I'll see you literally in 60 seconds. But if not, gang, big love. I'll see you on a LinkedIn profile audit with me. Remember to book that. Or I'll see you 9 o'clock next week for our live challenge.